on digital radio, on the app, on your smartphone, on X, YouTube, and Facebook. The Sportscast. Expect the unexpected.
The Donut Bag presented by the Sportscast.
The Donut Bag, hosted by Joey Bag of Donuts. And here's your host, Joey Bag of Donuts.
What's going on, everybody? Hello, good evening, happy Monday, happy new week. I'm trying to be positive here. Wasn't even sure I was wanting to do this because there's nothing happy to report with the Steelers, but I wanted to mostly use this to vent, and that's what I'm going to do. But first of all, welcome to the Donut Bag Podcast, part of the Sportscast Network. If you want to join in on the conversation, as you can see, I am flying solo tonight. You can go on, I believe you could reply on Twitter. I'm not sure, but I know if you go on YouTube and I am Joey Bag of Donuts V instead of an F. You could join in on the conversation, and hey, if you keep joining on the conversation, maybe I'll ask you to be on or something, because I hate doing these alone. I need someone to talk to. I hate monologues. People that do monologues, I respect the hell out of you, because I don't know how people do it. I can't just talk to myself. I need to talk. I need a conversation with someone. But anyway, we start with breaking news. The Steelers have signed Marquez Valdes-Scantling and free agent receiver Marquez Valdes-Scantling plans to sign with the Steelers, per source, reuniting with Aaron Rodgers from their Green Bay days. What does that tell us? What does that tell us that somebody that used to play with Aaron Rodgers is now with the Steelers? Basically after this week, I think they've had to have a hard look in the mirror and realize some hard truths and realize some things need to change. And maybe Aaron Rodgers is exerting a little bit more control, or maybe this is just a coincidence, or who knows? I don't know. But that is very interesting. We'll see what that does for the wide receiver rotation. We just saw in the last game that Roman Wilson was getting more screen time, playing time, and Calvin Austin III was back. So we'll see what happens there. Before I start, I want to do a brief history of the season. So, of course, I can't find what I was looking for. The Steelers started the season. Dave. Yes, it's a hockey night in Pittsburgh. The Penguins are playing right now. And that's funny that you mentioned the Penguins, because that is a major point of what I want to bring up tonight. Maybe I'll just say that now. But no. I want to do a brief history of the season. They started the season in New Jersey. Remember, it's the New Jersey Jets, not the New York Jets. They play in New Jersey. They went against the Jets and won 34-32, where the defense looked like absolute crap. They made Justin Fields look like the greatest quarterback that ever lived. And so that's and we said, well, it's the beginning of the season, and it's September football, blah blah blah. So don't worry about that. Then at home in Seattle, they basically got their butts kicked by Seattle at home. And we said, well, maybe Seattle's good, or I don't know what crappy excuse we use. That was a Caleb Johnson kickoff game. Then they go to New England and win 21-14, and there the defense really stepped up. It forced many turnovers, and all those turnovers, basically, if they did not have the turnovers, New England would have probably won. So So they win that. Then the Ireland game where they win in Minnesota, and actually the defense looked good there. But then again, they played Carson Wentz, who's actually out for the season now. But they played Carson Wentz, and the defense almost blew that game. Okay. Then they play against Cleveland and win decisively. And that was against a rookie. And I mean, the Browns. Browns games should count as like half a win. Because that's what garbage they are. Then about a week and a half ago, they are in Cincinnati and they get Flacco'd. They lose 33-31, and the defense could do nothing, and Joe Flacco picked them apart. Joe Flacco. Actually, Flacco looked pretty good yesterday too. And then last night's game, they lose to Green Bay 35-25. Oh boy, this game just hurt. It's not that it hurt. It's that we what are the 5 stages of grief? I know there's anger, denial, bargaining, acceptance. What is it? Denial, anger, bargaining, depression, and acceptance. I think last week we were in denial, in anger, about what happened to what happened against the Bengals. So it's like, well, the defense, I mean, hey, it happens. They had a bad night, whatever. Now, bargaining. Hopefully the bargaining happens at the trade deadline or somewhere where they get better people. Depression and acceptance. I think that's where we're at now. At least that's where I'm at. I'm just accepted that this team sucks. I've accepted that if you take, basically, this is not a good team. This is a middle of the road team. They can beat the bad teams. They have somewhat of a chance against the kind of bad teams, and they have no chance against the good teams. And make no mistake, Green Bay is like a top 5 team. Green Bay is, they are darn near perfect. They looked incredible. They have everything going for them. So yeah, but so if you do a power ranking, I just pulled up a power ranking of all the teams. Number 32 is Tennessee. Steelers would destroy Tennessee. What is it? Once it's a hiccup, twice is a pattern. This is a defense offensive team and a really, really bad pass defense team. Really, really bad pass defense team. Like, actually, historically bad pass defense team. It is unbelievable how bad this team is at pass defense. It is unbelievable. The defense is the issue. The defense, you're right, Dave. So 32 is Tennessee. Steelers would easily beat Tennessee. 31 is the Jets. They barely beat the Jets. 30 is the Browns. They can take care of the Browns. 29 is the Raiders. I think they could take care of the Raiders. 28 the Saints. They could take care of the Saints. 27 the Dolphins, who actually they're going to play soon. They could take care of the Dolphins. 26 Cardinals. I think they could take care of Arizona. 25 Atlanta. I think that would be an interesting game. I don't know. I think Steelers would barely win that. 24 is Carolina. I think they would probably beat Carolina because, I mean, they have a little person at quarterback. I'll never understand that Bryce Young pick. That was just I think he is a complete fraud. 23 is the Vikings. They beat the Vikings. 22 is the Giants. That could easily beat the Giants. 21 is the Ravens. There's no way Ravens are 21. So the Ravens right now are actually the odds-on favorite to win the AFC North. And even though the Steelers are 3 games ahead of them or whatever, but I believe it. And we all know this is coming. We all know that Lamar Jackson is going to get healthy. and they're going to go on this big winning streak, and the Steelers are going to just flounder the rest of the season. So we know this is going to happen. We know the Steelers are probably going to finish 9-8 and either barely make the playoffs or barely miss the playoffs. We know this is going to happen. This is how this is going to go. But yeah, the Ravens are not that bad. The Ravens winning yesterday really helped them, and they won without Lamar. 20 is the Bengals. Well, they can't beat the Bengals apparently. 19 is the Commanders. That would be an interesting game. 18 is the Cowboys. Oh, I wish Steelers would play the Cowboys. That would be the George Pickens Bowl. I think the Cowboys would destroy the Steelers, especially with Dak Prescott healthy. They have a great offense. 17 is the Bears. They're going to play the Bears later this season. That's going to be a really interesting game to see. I mean, the Bears are so up and down. They can be good or bad. 16 the 49ers. I think the 49ers would beat them. 15 the Texans. I think the Texans would win. 14 the Jaguars. The Jaguars. I think that's a 50-50 game. They list the Steelers as 13 here. I don't think they're the 13th best team. 12 is the Chargers. Actually, they're going to play in a couple weeks. I think that's going to be a very interesting even game, but I think the Chargers are better. 11 is the Seahawks. They lost to them. 10 is the Chiefs. The Chiefs would destroy them. 9 is the Bills. The Bills would destroy. The Bills will destroy them. They're going to play later. 8 is the Patriots. We know what happened there, but still, if the Patriots and the Steelers play like 10 times, the Patriots would win like 7 of them. 7 is the Eagles. We know that the Eagles would destroy them. 6 is the Packers. We saw what just happened there. And my things. 5 is the Rams. I don't think the Rams are that good. I mean, they're good, but I think that would be an interesting game. 4 is Tampa Bay. I think Tampa Bay would probably beat them easy. 3 is the Broncos. That would be an interesting game, but the Broncos are looking really good right now. 2 is, come on, keep scrolling. 2 is the Lions, and 1 is the Colts. They're actually going to play the Lions later, and I think the Lions are going to slaughter them. And then their next opponent is the Colts. And I think as it stands right now, it looks like the Colts will slaughter them. So this is just not a good team. How did we get here? How did we get to this point? I want to read a few interesting tweets that I found the past day. This is from Alex Kozora. I don't know where you begin with the Steelers secondary. Run defense wasn't even the issue. Excuse for last night. The group is slow, no instincts, no playmaking. Ramsey is playing okay, but easy to isolate, throw away from, and he's often not in the slot. Coaching is poor, big mess. Coaching is poor. That's one big problem here. That's what I want to get to with Dave's comment about it's a hockey night in Pittsburgh. If you know anything, I don't know how many Steelers fans or hockey fans, I think there's some, but not many. The Pittsburgh Penguins are currently pretty good. I think they're near the top of the conference. I think they're 6-2, 6-3, 7. They're doing really well, and they were expected to do really bad. Well, what happened? Well, they did change some players, but they got a new coach. Mike Sullivan was basically the Mike Tomlin of hockey. Mike Sullivan, when he first joined the Penguins, won 2 cups. He had a different he played a different system. They played a different style, and with him and Jim Rutherford as the GM, they got the right players, and they won back-to-back Stanley Cups, and it was awesome. Well, then what happened was they made the playoffs again. It didn't work, and then eventually they just stopped. And then they would either make the playoffs and do terrible, or just not make the playoffs at all. And it just got worse and worse because it was stale, because they played the same system, and either they didn't listen to him anymore or whatever. So they basically did. I mean, the main players are still there. The core players are still there. They did get some new ones, but the core players are still there. But the main thing they did was a change of coach, and all of a sudden they're winning like crazy. Just because, like, one thing with Sullivan was they would have a lead in the third period and they would give it up because they would play poor defense. And I think all they're doing is playing better defense and letting their talent win through. And look what's happening. My point is they had a stale coach that either the players tuned out or it just wasn't working anymore. I think the same thing is happening with the Steelers. Mike Tomlin, and it's not, don't give me this crap about Teryl Austin, okay? Which I think he is, if things continue to get bad, I think Teryl Austin will be fired, the defensive coordinator. But getting rid of Teryl Austin is like if you have a paper cut and you buy hemorrhoid cream and apply it to where you apply hemorrhoid cream or something like that. It will do nothing to fix your paper cut. It will do nothing to fix your boo-boo. Or maybe it'll cause something, but it's Teryl Austin he'll just be a scapegoat. This is Mike Tomlin's defense. And a lot of it is a scheme. And, it's like, well, they pick the wrong players, or they pick these old players that aren't any good or whatever. It's like, don't tell me Mike Tomlin doesn't have any say in what players come in. Don't give me that. Don't tell me it's just Omar Khan. I'm just getting tired of it. It's the same thing every year. We're on this treadmill of hell. Let me read some more tweets here. Urinating Tree says this defense has always over relied on splash plays and fluke bullshit. If TJ Watt isn't doing superhero shit every third play, games like yesterday and most of the season are the result you get. It's the scheme. It's always been the scheme. It's true. When they don't get a splash play, a fumble or an interception or something like that, this defense sucks and they rely on that too much. And the good teams don't turn over the ball that much. Dan Orlovsky says, I often watch a Steelers defense tape and write down the notes. What are they doing here? I don't know if they know what they were doing here. Will the owners pay money to Tomlin to not coach and pay money for a new coach? That sounds like nothing. Okay, well, that's why when people say Tomlin needs to go, that's not going to happen. Tomlin has in 2024, Mike Tomlin signed a 3-year contract for like $50 million or something like that. So Dave, you're absolutely right. They are not going to pay Tomlin $16-17 million and then pay someone else who knows what, $5, $10, $15 million. No, that's not going to happen. Here is the most likely scenario if this does actually happen. Mike Tomlin's contract is over in 2027. Usually with 1 year left in the deal, sometimes 2 years left in the deal, they negotiate an extension. If they really want to move on from Tomlin, they would have to either I don't think they would fire him. I don't because the Steelers don't do that. But I think they would kind of do what they did with Cowher and say, it's probably a good idea to quote unquote retire and go into the booth. I think Tomlin in that scenario would join some kind of network, either on their studio show or be a commentator or something like that. I think he would be awesome at that. And I think he would do that for a year and make a lot of money and then go back into coaching. I think I'm guessing that's how that would go. Or maybe he would just take the year off or something like that. I don't know. But but that would be the only scenario, is basically they would somehow make it so that they wouldn't have to pay Tomlin and then pay someone else. But how long are we going to put up with this? It's very possible that Rooney might give him another contract extension, and after this year or something like that. So I don't know. We'll see. But it's the same thing over and over again. And it's Tomlin. It's Tomlin. His defense sucks. He has the most expensive defense. Now, the thought of having an expensive defense, of building your team on defense in a league where every single rule favors the offense, where every trend favors the offense, is just idiotic. TJ Watt is one of the best outside linebackers. TJ Watt is held on every play. TJ Watt is like, they neutralize TJ Watt and they don't get called on holding. You can neutralize a defensive player because they don't want a edge rusher to kill the quarterback. Quarterbacks are very valuable and they don't want them to get hurt. So they do things like let the tackle leave like way before the ball is snapped or something like that, or let the tackle hold TJ Watt and stuff like that, because they want to protect their quarterbacks. This league is an offensive league. Spending all this money on defense is stupid, and we're seeing the results. So Matt at Yinzer that says, the same way that Mike Sullivan was a great hockey coach, Mike Tomlin is a great football coach, but just like the Penguins, nothing is ever going to change with the Steelers until this purgatory ends. That's where we're at. We are in purgatory. We are in this treadmill of crap. It's the same thing every year. 9-8, 10-7. Maybe we'll make the playoffs. Maybe we won't. If we make the playoffs, we'll play Buffalo. We'll go to Buffalo or Kansas City or the Baltimore and get destroyed in that first round. This is where we are. It's just this treadmill of crap. And the fun thing is, I kept hearing that 2025 is just a bridge year. This is a bridge year to 2026. The 2026, when in April of 2026 at the NFL draft, which will be held in Pittsburgh, Roger Goodell will say, with the blah 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 pick in the 2026 draft, the Steelers draft whoever. I saw a mock draft that said Garrett Nussmeier, whoever the heck that is. But it's just funny. It's actually funny because this mock draft had that Mendoza going 1, the Oregon quarterback going 2, and then not another quarterback until the Steelers draft and who knows when. So this is all. This year basically meant nothing. It's all about 2026, when we don't have to draft, we don't have to deal with Aaron Rodgers or Russell Wilson or Mitch Trubisky or any of this crap. We're gonna have this messiah of a quarterback who will lead us to the promised land. Apparently, he's going to be 8 feet tall and fire will come out of his fingers. I tell you, because rookie quarterbacks, they never fail. My goodness. So that's where we're at. And we get it. And once in a decade reset next year, a quarterback, and we need to get a hit right now. You don't trust it. Okay. So when we started the year there, the mock draft said, there will be 6 or 7 quarterbacks in the first round. And now there's 2 or 3 because a lot of them either suck or got hurt. Drew Aller was supposed to be a first-round pick. I feel bad for the kid. Well, I don't feel bad for him. He's probably made millions of dollars, but still, he things change. But the thought that they're going to draft this quarterback and he's going to automatically be awesome is just, to me, is laughable. Have you seen? Oh, yeah. Sometimes you hit with a rookie quarterback, and sometimes it's a disaster. Kenny Pickett. That's all I need to say. So it's just in conclusion, there is no hope. um, everything sucks, and we're screwed. We're doomed. That's enjoy your evening. But so what can they do? What can they do if it's the scheme? Oh, and another thing, did you see Cam Hayward said we didn't have a lot of fights. What the hell does that mean? We don't have a lot of fights? You don't have a lot of fight. You got embarrassed on national television on a Thursday night. And the conventional wisdom was, well, Mike Tomlin on a Thursday sucks because he doesn't have enough time and the team is old and tired. But Mike Tomlin on the game after a Thursday is really good because he has all that time and an extra rest and stuff. Well, we saw what happened last night. Another thing. In conclusion, welcome to the 80s Steelers. Are they the 80s Steelers? They kind of are. This is basically the Steelers in the 80s. Basically no hope. Who's the Mark Malone of this time? Kenny Pickett was the Mark Malone of this time. And Mitch Trubisky was the Cliff Stout of this time. What we need is a Bubby Brister. We need a Bubby Brister of the 2020s. I hope whoever quarterback they draft, I hope that's the next Bubby Brister because Bubby was fun. Bubby will always have a special place in my heart because I was 12, 13 years old. 12, 13-year-old me idolized Bubby Brister. I had a big poster of him in my bedroom. And Bubby thrown to Lewis Lips was that was an electric combination, and Ouija Thompson. I don't know. I'm just tired of the same thing over and over again, and we've had the same thing over and over again for like 10 years now. It's the same thing. No, actually, the same for 5 years now. Basically, since Ben Roethlisberger had his elbow surgery, he came back, but he was not the same, and he was old, and it was toward the end of his career. But at least now we have a pretty okay. We have a good offense. We've been saying for years, all we need is a good offense. And because we already have that good defense. All we need is a good offense, and this will be a good team. Well, now we have a good offense and a crappy defense. And honestly, when Cam Hayward says things like we don't have a lot of fights, they should just be ashamed of themselves. Because I know we are. We're ashamed of you. We're ashamed. I'm not ashamed of being a Steelers fan, but I'm ashamed of that defense. It's just disgusting. It's just sad seeing the past 2 games, the other team just pitch and catch. Just like sometimes there's not even anyone close to being there to cover them. It's pathetic. It's pathetic. You pay all that money for a defense, and they're just, and this is what we get. We get this crap. It's sad. It's sad. So next up is the Colts, who are, according to this thing, number 1 team in the league. Jonathan Taylor is he's not. I don't think he's human. I don't think Jonathan Taylor is human. He's more a machine now than man, twisted and evil. He might be a cyborg. It's possible. I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen, but it's just they should just be ashamed of themselves. That it was a shameful performance. And when, I heard it's like, well, but they were winning at halftime. They were winning going into the fourth quarter. We all saw it coming. What Green Bay was doing. We knew they were going to just eventually figure it out. it's just Indiana Jones will whip us. You know what? Actually, here's my Indiana Jones hat. There you go. No, I can't hear myself. That's probably for the best. Yeah. Yeah. It's just yesterday, last night, it was just, I keep saying the same thing over and over. I'm sorry. We have to come to some hard truths. We thought, oh, maybe this is actually a good team. A couple weeks ago, we were like, ooh, maybe they'll get the number 1 seed. It's like, now I don't know if they'll win another game. And the way they were playing these past 2 games, the way the defense is, I don't know if they could beat anybody. It's just a shameful performance. That's all. Shame on you. Shame. Everybody knows your name. I think that's it. I think I've said all I need to say. Thank you, Dave, for your comments. Thank you, everybody, for watching, and we'll see you next week. I don't have a lot of confidence right now, but maybe they'll actually have some pride. Maybe they'll, as Cam Hayward said, actually have some fight. There's a couple other things I want to talk about. I have this jersey right here, which is the old Bumblebees from about 10 years ago, and they wore those monstrosities last night. The yellow with the khaki pants and the yellow socks. And I heard, it was like, well, that's this way we won't have to use any of those picks. See, that's a good thing. If they keep losing, they won't have to worry about trading up because they're already draft high in the draft. There's an optimism. Those uniforms were the most awful, disgusting things I've ever seen as a sports uniform. No, actually, the only things that were worse were those Giants third jerseys from a year or 2 ago when they looked like the Montreal Canadiens. I don't know what the hell that was about. And then they say, oh, well, that's how it was in 1933. Yeah, there's a lot of things happening in 1933. That doesn't mean I want to repeat them. My goodness. Now, if they had that yellow and black jersey with black pants, I think it would look good. But it was those khakis. My daughter is not a sports fan at all. And she texted me and said, what is going on with these uniforms? And I tried to explain what the hell was going on. It didn't work. But she said, who approved this? And I said, I don't know. And she said, I know what, that not she said that this is not something a gay person would think of. So anybody with any fashion sense would not think of that uniform. Khakis are not intimidating. Khakis should not be used in a football uniform. Khakis are for a business casual lunch or going to church or working at Chuck E. Cheese or something like that. Not a football uniform. Khakis with yellow socks. I don't know if uniforms mean anything in terms of whether, psychologically, whether you're going to win or lose or not. But when you wore that crap that they wore last night, and I hope they never do it again, you're basically admitting defeat. And these Bumblebees, I thought they were the stupidest thing ever. They've kind of grown on me. I think they should go back to the Bumblebees. Now, when they wore these Bumblebees, what pants did they wear? Khakis. Khakis are not football pants, people. Those Bumblebees with black pants would look pretty darn sharp. Here's what they should do. Here, I'll help you out, Steelers, because hell, you need all the help you need right now. Here's a uniform you should use as a third uniform. Have you seen those uniforms they had like in 1970? They were basically all white. The all black ones, the color rush, are actually sharp. All black, really cool. All white, I think, would really be kind of like what the Packers did last night, but just as a Steelers thing. I think that would look pretty sharp. I think they should do that sometime. What a modern version of the 60 triangles. Is that the Batman uniforms? I think. Another thing I want to bring up is the Packers fans took over Acupuncture Field, and I don't know what to think about that. I don't, I've talked to some people that were at the game, and they were mad, and they said, these people are traitors. How do you sell your ticket to a Packers fan? And, how do you do that? How do you let them take over our field? Okay, I get that, but I also get that let's say you're a season ticket holder or whatever, or let's say, I don't know how much a ticket costs. Let's say a ticket costs $200 or something like that, and somebody's offering you like $700 for a ticket or something like that. That'd be hard to turn down. I mean, I know those tickets were going for a lot. I don't know. It's hard to turn down that money. It's, so but I mean, the Steelers actually had to go to a silent count in their own building. Now, was this a one-time thing? Well, actually, I know it's not a one-time thing, because I was at a game. It was a home opener in 2022. I think it was a season opener with Kenny Pickett, and they played the 49ers, and the 49ers fans. Exactly. Somebody offers you, like triple the price of your ticket. You make a nice little profit. I don't. As they say, everybody has a price for the $1 million man. Actually, I have the $1 million belt right here. This thing has sharp edges. I gotta be careful. Yeah, so I don't know. I was just, was that it rarely happens, but yeah, but I mean, was this because it was a special event? Because, Packers fans, this is one of the last times they'll see Aaron Rodgers. I mean, I'm sure he's still beloved with Green Bay. I know he's had a lot of nice things to say about them. He said he's going to retire a Packer. I get it. I mean, he was with them for 18 years. They have wonderful memories. They won a Super Bowl together. He had multiple MVPs there. I mean, he said he had a great time there. He has no hard feelings. And this is like this is the first time he's playing against the Packers. So I'm sure Packers fans wanted to see that. And this is one of the last times they'll see him play. So maybe this was a one-time thing. I don't know. But I don't know. It's I see both sides. Like you're kind of betraying your fan base by giving the ticket, but at the same time, money is money. So we'll see. Anyway, thanks everybody for watching, and let's just hope for the best. I'll see you.